So much fun. This next person coming up to the stage, she'll curse for you.
Yeah.
By the way, before I bring her up, because our other features aren't here, are there any other people from the audience? As I mentioned, if you have stories of your own, you're more than welcome to come up and share them. 5-minute stories about getting around LA without driving. Or any of you guys in the audience thinking of any stories? Awesome. Cool. I love it. Oh, this is fantastic. Yeah. That's a curse-free curse. Anyway, I'm going to keep this show rolling along. This next person coming up to the stage was at the very first show that we had in the audience. And she was the very first person to be an audience storyteller up here. And since then, she's probably featured at about 10 of our shows. So she's features all the time at our shows now. Been at every one of our, the music festivals, the Santa Monica. Oh, you haven't been to Santa Monica, have you?
No, I haven't been to those.
Too far away. She rides a bus.
Exactly.
But she also has a great blog called Hoff the Beaten Path that's all covering, and now she even gets invited to like all the LA dot stuff and everything. And and she's also a fantastic storyteller. So give a big hand for our next storyteller, Adriane Hoff. Come on up.
Thank you, Scott. So I'm going to keep the cursing going. You know what shit pisses me off on the bus more than anything? Is when people will take up way more space than one person actually needs. Whether it's in their seat, on the elevator. No, we all are here on public transportation, hence the word public. This is the charity of the people, lots of people on here. Don't put your stuff on the next seat when there's a loaded bus. Like, stack everything on your lap like a decent human being. Don't carry your bike up on the escalator. Don't stand to the left where people are going to be trying to walk up the escalator. Just, you're your person. That's all the space that needs to be taken up. Put your bags over your shoulder. Just, it's a huge pet peeve of mine. And it seems like no bus is worse at this than my home line, the 28. I live in Cypress Park, Northeast LA, and so the 28, it connects like Eagle Rock down through Cypress Park into downtown and all the way out to Century City. And I take that line for only just a few minutes in the morning to catch the Goldline to get to downtown. And by the time I get on, almost every seat is taken by one person. And each person is sitting on the aisle seat, guarding it like a sentry, about ready to fight. And their lunch bag will be on the seat next to them. Or maybe nothing will be next to them. But they are still unwilling to let anybody into that seat. And I like to start shit when people do that kind of stuff. And so, like, I'm that asshole that will, like, be standing right there. Excuse me, may I sit there? I said, excuse me, may I sit there, please? And like, people will just be so combative about it. Like, if they finally will like, give you the decency of looking you in the face and realize that you are a person that deserves a seat more than their coin purse, they'll finally, like, pick up said coin purse and put it in their lap, but then will make you climb over their legs to sit down. I just don't get it. What's so difficult about, like, just sliding over? I mean, like, I'm going to be getting out really shortly anyway, so I'm just going to have to climb over you again, and I will not make an effort to avoid hitting you in the face with my purse. If that happens, oops. I just don't get it. And, like, so slide over, whatever. But there's this one woman last week that was happening to me. Like, she was sitting on the aisle seat, and I asked her 3 times if I could have the seat next to her. And the bus was much more crowded at this point. I would say there was only a few handfuls of seats that were available. And with every time I asked her if I could sit by the window, she just turned her body more and more into the window, so her shoulders were the only thing facing me. And it just was so ridiculous. Like, I just started laughing at that point. And then this woman was sitting in these seats, like, above the window in the back area. And, like, she saw it happening. She's like, just sit here. just... And that woman was a sweetheart. Like, she was nice enough to actually, like, slide into the window and let me have the aisle seat so I didn't have to climb over her. Like, I was doing, like, some acrobatic maneuver or something. My favorite is this woman that I see most days going to work. Like I mentioned, I'll take the 28 to connect with the Goldline. And I call her walking stick lady. And I don't think she's got this walking stick for balance purposes. It's this very beautifully hand-carved walking stick. But it is way more walking stick than any person needs when they're not hiking up like crazy terrain. It's this walking stick's about like 6 feet tall, and this woman is probably about 5 feet tall. So like if she loses her balance, it's going to be because she's holding this giant ass walking stick that is way too big for her. And so she like when we're approaching the Goldline, like she also connects there as well too. And so before we even get to the stop, she gets out of her seat and stands in front of the back entrance or the back exit. But she stands there very wide, like she's like Gandalf, like about ready to fight a dragon. And so like her walking stick's out there like this with her full extended arm, so nobody can walk past her. And so the door's open, and everybody, this is like 7:30 in the morning, everybody's got someplace they have to be. There's a train coming, like it's literally about 30 seconds after I get off the 28 that the Goldline is pulling up, so I gotta haul ass. I gotta get off that bus and tap my card and run and get my way around any asshole that keeps me from doing this. And walking stick lady is the best at that. So she's like doing her thing, like you shall not pass, right in front of the back exit. And so when it pulls over, the door's open, she just very casually puts her stick down and takes a few just really casual steps. And she also does this thing where like she puts her stick down and like will like kind of like walk past it so the stick is way behind her, and then like swings it and sets it up in front of her. And because like she's doing this with like a full extended arm, she's taking up like about like 5-6 feet of width, like the entire stairwell. You can't like walk around her because she's going slow as molasses. And I see the Goldline coming in, and I'm getting really pissed off at this point. Like, if this asshole makes me miss my train and thus makes me late for work because of her goddamn stick that I'm about to just break. And so, like, when she was, like, doing her walking stick thing, like, she, like, picked it up and I was probably too close behind her because I was getting antsy. I had a train to catch. And she whacked me, like, in the upper inner thigh with this thing. And I was like, what the fuck? And I, like, the train was coming, so I didn't have enough time to, like yell at her, which was probably a good thing. And, because I didn't, it's not my goal to hurt feelings. It just sometimes happens. But, like, I see her every morning. I'm like, you don't even need this stick. Like, go hiking in Elysian Park if you want to, like, bust out the old walking stick and like have some excitement with that. And on multiple occasions I've missed my train because she's just taking up way too much space and walks so slow. If you want to take up all the space, at least let people pass you. If you aren't on a time frame, like move to the side a bit. And I try to avoid being on the same cart on the Goldline as her because I just feel so annoyed by the time I get to the platform. And also, too, like, by the time that the Goldline at 7:30 in the morning comes to the Cypress Park station, which is only 2 from downtown, the train is packed. It's gotten everybody from Pasadena, Highland Park. There is not a seat left, and so you're having to just stand there as tight as possible with lots of bodies doing the same thing. And I do not want to get another walking stick to the leg again from her. So, just wish that she'd be a little bit more considerate instead of taking up the space of 4 people with her and her stick. And same with all those other people that just don't want to give up their window seat. Screw them. Thank you.
Adrianne Hoff, Hoff the Beaten Path, that's her blog. That's funny. You know, I hate when people stand on the left side of the escalator. That drives me crazy because I actually